So let's just try that. I get it. Okay, so we did move it. What I couldn't figure out in like 5 minutes in the previous session turned out to be quite simple after a break. The previous change shouldn't have had any effect either, but it did because we changed something else. But anyway, this seems to work. Hi, and welcome to another hacking session on Smart Notes. In the previous session, we ended with an interesting error that we couldn't easily fix. So in this session, we will just continue to investigate the problem and see if we can understand what's going on. So I will start my Pomodoro timer, set it for 25 minutes, and hopefully we can fix it in those 25 minutes and move on to the next task. Okay, so timer is set. So the problem that we got was that the search note does not have a card full size. And I'm not quite sure what's going on. If we have a look here in the search results, update calls hbox update, and then we call this update notes list. So in the very first run, or in the very first time the search bar is opened, there will be no search note widgets, I guess. So we have this by ID dictionary. How do we use it? So if there is a note in this ID, we get it from there. Okay, so this, and by ID is, oh, we have self by ID. Okay, and then we save it. Okay, so from the previous run. Okay, but we never call update so I don't know, maybe I'm thinking this update needs to happen before we create the children, or sorry, after we create the children. So let's just try that. And yeah, now we can update the search bar, and that works. Okay, but I'm a bit confused. Okay, let's remove the print first of all. I'm a bit confused because I didn't think we changed that. So let's see, this is the search results. Search results. No? Search results. Oh, okay, so it's not shown in the diff. Okay, so let's see, we hbox. Let's search for hbox.update. No? I get it. Okay, so we did move it. All right, so before this hbox update was probably in this location. And we moved it to the top to continue to use the same order as in most other widgets, but yeah, this update nodes list will create the child widgets in this hbox, and update therefore needs to be called afterwards. Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe we're now done. So let's that was an easy fix. What I couldn't figure out in like 5 minutes in the previous session turned out to be quite simple after a break. So let's just play around a bit and see that things still seem to work. We can type some stuff here and we can switch to the table view. Yeah, okay. So let's commit this now. And those two. And we can just verify in the diff here that we have added a bunch of update calls. Here we changed the position, which was fine in this case. Okay. So what was the previous commit message? Makes sure base process event is called appropriately, and let's make sure base update is called appropriately. There we go. And the last one, I'll just continue with my to-do list here. The last one is the draw that we also need to call. So this one was a bit tricky because if we have a look here, before we tried to add the selection border drawing to this method. And when you override this method, you have to decide which widget you want to draw first. Do you want to draw, you want to call the base draw first, and therefore also draw everything you want to draw on top of that, or do you want to do the reverse order? So if the base widget wants to draw both background stuff and foreground stuff, can't really handle that situation with only one draw method. So maybe we can just assume something for now. So if we assume that the base draw method will only draw on top of what the widget wants to draw, that will work in the case of the focus rectangle, because we want to draw the focus rectangle on top of everything else. So that means that all the cases where we override draw, we should call the base draw last. So let's just do that, and we'll go with that assumption for now, and we'll see if we want to improve on it later on. So let's draw. Yeah, okay. So the first hit is in the base widget. Second one is in padding. It all feels similar to what we did in the previous session. So we want to do widget.draw self.canvas, and we want to do this last. So we do whatever we want to do first, and then we call the base draw. And as before, let's just make sure that we didn't break anything, make a type or something. So this shouldn't have any effect at all, because calling base doesn't do anything. But you know, the previous change shouldn't have had any effect either, but it did, because we changed something else. But anyway, this seems to work. So let's go back and fix the rest. Note base widget. Note. There it is. Draw and widget.draw. Is widget the base class? Yes, it is. Next one. We have box. Box. Draw. The box draws all the children, then calls the base draw. Okay. Next we have a text field. The text field is here. Draw. Yeah, so this is what we will eventually move to the base. The focus rectangle. But we're taking baby steps here, so let's just do this for now. And also make sure that the widget is the base class, yes. Next we have okay, so this is the Smart Notes widget. So we already called base draw here. So let's see here. So this VBox draw will probably draw all the events, all the nodes and everything. And then we want to draw these link lines on top of that. So, yeah, sort of like an overlay. Yeah, so this needs to happen after the draw. Yeah, so I'm thinking for the future, this draw method might look something like do self draw background, draw foreground. And then maybe here we can do the selection border drawing, and you can override one of these two to make the drawing in the particular order that you want. But for now, let's just assume that, yeah, we do this, call the base last, and the base will draw everything, including the selection border if it's selected. Later on, and then the link lines, let me just show you. The link lines are oh, canvas is not defined. What did I do? Widget.draw. Where is that? VBox draw canvas. VBox draw. In the box. Draw screen. Okay. This is probably an old name that lingered, so let's rename this to canvas. Okay. Anyway, what I wanted to show you was the link lines are these lines that turn green and gray. So we want to draw the nodes before drawing these lines, otherwise they would be drawn behind the nodes. Anyway, where we Yeah, so I think this is okay to do it in this order, or we have to do it in this order. Let's move on. The most important part now is that we actually call the base draw, and we can figure out the ordering part later if it turns out to not work in all situations. Okay, anyway, let's move on to this one, which is the search bar. Search bar as a draw, and here we want to do, oops, I copy pasted something else. Widget draw self canvas, copy that, and widget is not the base class but vbox is, so vbox. And let's just make sure that that works. No typos. Search bar, yeah, works. Okay. Next up, we have interesting. Okay. Draw search bar. Oh, this is probably not correct. We already called the draw, the base draw from this draw search bar image, which is, okay, so yeah, this should, create image, where was this again? This was in the search bar. So, yeah. I would say this is more correct to have it here. Because this just draws an image and it might not be drawn all the time. It can be cached. So what if we do this? What will that still work? Should still work. Yeah. Not really sure about that one, but I think this is more correct, so let's leave it like that. Yeah, this one. And the next one I want to fix is, which class is this? Oh, network widget, okay. So draw, doing a bunch of stuff. Vbox draw, and it should be widget. Let's copy paste that one again. So here we're drawing all the links, all the nodes, and also the focus rect that will eventually move into the base draw. Okay. And this, maybe we should change the order here on this one, and it's the network node. Draw node base widget. Yeah, let's consider this an overlay as well. Yeah, because it is, because this one will draw the node itself as well. I want to draw this debug node border on top of that. Yeah, so let's leave it like that. Again, the important part is to call the base, not the exact order. Okay, link widget. Let's see. widget. Draw if self need redraw. So we'll create an image and the image will be blit. And yeah, then we want to do this. Why? I don't understand why it copy and paste this. Okay, widget draw self.canvas. Okay, let's copy that again. Let's see. Widget draw self canvas. Okay. Next up, we have a table widget, and are we finally done? Soon. Widget draw self canvas, and maybe the debug bar as well. Yeah. Hopefully the last one. Widget draw and widget is the base class. Yes. And let's see, draw rect. And then we're back to the main loop, and that's all usages. So let's quickly try. Run the application and see we can bring up a search bar, debug bar, can type some stuff, can make links, and yeah, seems to work. So let's commit it. Let's bring up a previous message. Make sure base draw is called appropriately. And I see now that I can't spell a pro. I'm not sure if that's better. Anyway. Okay, so I can see on my timer that I have less than 5 minutes left, so I don't think I will start on anything new. But right now we're working on moving the selection border drawing into the base widget. What we have completed now is that we have reviewed all occurrences of process event update and draw and made sure that they call the base properly. So we can now remove that from the to-do list. And what to work on next? So we realized that making this change was not like a single easy step. So we started with some simpler tasks that we saw needed to be done before we can move the selection border drawing to the base. What do I think is a good next move? I think this one is quite interesting. Because if you access attribute of other classes, making changes become more difficult. Remove private access. So one example of this is in the link widget, I think. When the link widget is drawn, let's see. So a link has a start and an end, and start and end are note widgets. And probably here somewhere we do start pos, end pos. Where do we set those? Yeah, so start and end come from start, the start note dot rect dot mid right. So here we probably want to make a call instead and say something like self dot start dot out point, or so rect dot mid right, that's the right side and the middle. So it will be the point where links are drawn from, and then to the right. So that's one example where we access this rect attribute of a note, and we want to make this rect attribute private, and when we do that we can't just access it like this, and it's also bad practice, so we should replace this with something better. But that will be for another session, because my Pomodoro timer will beep any second now. So thank you oh, there we go, time's up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next session. Bye.